Right, guys. Yeah, this video is a bit of an interesting one because I'm not particularly going over anything for a project, and I'm not really showing anything code-wise or game development-wise. This is just essentially an intro video to Unity and how to set up a new project and talking through the interface, just in case you have no experience with Unity. If you are students of mine, you probably won't. Given the level I'm teaching, some of you will, so you may not need to look at this video. But essentially, if you are opening Unity up for the first time and you are starting a new project, this is what you will see. So very quickly, I'm going to set myself up a new project. I'm just going to call this test project, just because I'm not, as I say, I'm not doing anything with it. You can add asset packs here if you want to. You can set up your organization, which is something you do when you register to Unity, and choose a template. I'm just going to leave mine as 3D for the time being because I very rarely use anything in terms of asset packs for the template or any of these really. It's normally 2D or 3D. So once you hit create project, you sit here and wait for a while. That's kind of how it works. It will load up some, which is all it's doing on my other monitor at the minute. So it's importing the small assets, it's importing all the different aspects of the Unity editor that I'll be using throughout. So different SDKs and just general Unity components and different scripts and functions that I'll be referencing. So that's not anything you need to particularly worry about at the moment. We'll go over that in future videos and future projects. So once we have Unity open, which is still doing it, and there's my phone vibrating. Thought maybe put it on silent, won't bother the video. Clearly not. So yeah, essentially what I'll do, I'll talk through the main areas of the interface. So as we can see, it's just loaded up. We'll give it a second. I'm getting some weird console error to start with, but nothing to worry about. So what I'm going to talk through, I'm going to close a few of these down because these are just things that I've been using recently, and you aren't kind of key to the process of what you're going to be using. They're very specific things. It's just me testing this newest version. And can I suggest that if you are watching these videos, you make note of this version number in the top left hand side, because things may be slightly different. They may not be to start with, but there are new things added, as you would expect to newer versions, and it doesn't work quite the same way. So make sure you are referencing this version up here. I'll probably be using this at least for another year, this version, even if there are new versions coming out, because I'm teaching in an educational establishment. We don't update constantly, so we update once a year. So this is what I'm going to be using. So to start with, let's look at what we're looking at in this interface. By default, yours may look like this, but I personally prefer to have my game view and my scene view separately. The reason for this is because I can move stuff around in here, but also see what the camera's seeing on here. When you select the camera in this scene, like I just did, you do get a little camera preview so that you can see what the camera's seeing. But when you're moving anything else about, you don't get that. So if I want to move this directional light around, I'm not going to see that anywhere else. So I'd be able to see it in here. Obviously it's a light, you're not going to see it. There's nothing for it to cast shadows on at the minute. And there isn't going to be, because as I say, this is just a video showing through the interface. This is not the start of a project. But yeah, so this is your scene view. As I say, you can see everything that's in your scene. You navigate around, just right click on your mouse, drag around, you can have a look around and stuff. Zooming in and out, it's what you would expect. It's a scroll wheel, so up and down, in and out. So yeah, that's basically the scene view. As I say, you can select things in here. You got your move tools up here. I'll go through that when we start moving things around in the projects. So scene view, camera view. And this is your hierarchy on this side, as it says just there. The hierarchy is essentially anything that is in your current scene. It's kind of like a local project, if that makes any sense. So these are things that you can see in here. They are things present in this level. This is not everything that's in the entire game, just in this one level. In terms of everything that's in the game, this is your project down here. everything that you are using should be in here. So you should be selecting things, dragging. Scripts will be saved in here. Scenes will be in here. Assets. Yeah, essentially everything that you're going to put into any level will be evidenced down here. This is more like a global project, whereas the scene is more like a local version. So yeah, you'll see that as you go along. In the first video, we'll be making folder structures and setting up projects before we begin them. So I'll go through that in a little bit more detail. When you come to coding and scripting, this menu here, the console menu, it's kind of your saving grace, because this will tell you errors in your code, where to find them, and what script they're on. So you'll be using that a lot. That's why I've kind of included it in this video as kind of like a core piece of interface. The last one will be the inspector. So I'll go through the inspector, which is essentially, this differs depending on what you selected. So main camera, as you can see, I've got all the components that are currently in the main camera. Same with directional light. This is just where you edit everything that's in your project. So for instance, I might change the background color of my camera's view, because I can select it in here and edit in there. This is the same for selecting things in the project. You would edit it in your inspector. This has nothing to do with being in the current scene. This is just an area for us to edit. The last thing on here, which is kind of key, is just your play button. So yeah, there's nothing in this game. There is no game. Because I've got maximize on play just there, it goes big as soon as I click play. So I'll stop in that. But yeah, that's everything that's kind of key to every Unity project. There are other things that we will talk through in the interface in future videos, such as the animation or the animator tab. Tile palettes is something I've been experimenting with, and just general other menus that aren't core to every project. But yeah, that's been this video. So hopefully you'll join in on a project soon. So that'll be the next video. The next video will be start of the first project. So yeah, thanks.